This college basketball picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play Underdog Pick'em for a chance to win 100x. Promo code SGPN at UnderdogFantasy.com for a 100% deposit match. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US based and available in 40 states. Head to cut.com. That's KUTT.com and use promo code SGPN for 100% or 10% deposit bonus. And there are only a few days left to get 15% off everything in the SGPN merch store with the promo code playoffs.
Hey, this is John Smoltz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Sean.
Yes.
I don't know if I'm recovered
From what?
from the ass beating I took.
You do feel a little chippy, Ryan.
Chippy?
Yes.
What am I? I'm not chippy. I would say I'm drained.
Drained emotionally. Lamar Jackson drained you.
Lamar drained me. Yeah, it's a lot going on. College basketball came at me fast this morning.
Oh yes.
And but yeah, a lot of ins, a lot of outs. But we got a Super Bowl that no one wanted, and I'm coming to grips with that.
Yeah, I mean, Chiefs getting in would have been, or sorry, 49 Lions getting in would have been awesome. Certainly the Chiefs were always going to beat the Ravens. That was easy. But hey, we're here talking college basketball. Joining us to break down the great sport of college basketball. Perfect time to be getting into college basketball. If you've been slacking, hop in now. Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
No, I thought it was personally great that the Lions lost. But I love seeing them lose and go Niners on that one all day.
Why do you love seeing the Lions lose?
Because the curse of Bobby Lane is still alive. They traded him to the Steelers, and I love sports misery, and I also think they're a candy ass organization.
Yeah,
Wow.
I guess if you're not a fan of a team like Colby, it's easy to celebrate when other good sports teams like Detroit don't have any success. But what?
Well, they robbed the world of a full career from Barry Sanders.
Okay. But that's not the fans'
They
fault.
robbed the world of a full career from Calvin Johnson.
Again, the fans supported Calvin Johnson. The fans supported Barry Sanders.
I mean, they robbed football fans of football because Michigan is in Ann Arbor, East Lansing, Ypsilanti, all outdoors, Mount Pleasant, Kalamazoo, the one dome football. Get the fuck out of here. All right. The Lions are trash. They'll always be trash.
Wow.
That's what it is.
Until they get out of that.
It's a dome football take.
Yeah, it's a
dome
Bobby Lane
football.
thing too. Bobby Lane thing. Ever since they traded Bobby Lane, they've paid the price.
Bobby, when was Bobby Lane traded, Colby?
Late 50s,
Okay.
I would imagine. Yeah.
When Colby was a young lad, just beginning.
Him and his brothers used to watch footage of Bobby Lane when he was
Very
on
true.
the Detroit Lions in 1958.
Very true. Texas Longhorn grad, buddy.
But I thought you hate Texas.
Yeah.
So much
I do.
confusion.
No. Back then, Texas their ego wasn't insane. But I mean, he's a real quarterback. You know what I mean? You trade Bobby Lane.
Oh boy.
This is what you get. They didn't. Let's be honest. They weren't one of the 4 best teams in the NFL anyway. Get them out of here.
That's accurate. Colby with a lot of hatred for the city of Detroit, all because they put a roof on their football stadium.
Yeah, I have nothing against Joe Louis or the Pistons or Motown. Love Motown music.
Didn't they move the Pistons out of Detroit into the suburbs?
Did they?
You can't. Yeah, they did. You can't like
Yeah.
that.
I don't really care
Colby,
about that one.
As we've noted, Colby hates everything. But Colby and Ryan, we have this edition of Real Men of Degen, courtesy of a DM from at Gambling Podcast. Someone slid into the DM, so this is to you.
SGPN presents Real Men of Degen. Real Men of Degen. We salute you.
Chuck in the DMs. Love you guys, but hated the slot machine talk until Sean's tales from the NFL machine this year and other heaters. But I still smugly thought, whatever, slot machines are for losers. Then I found myself in Columbus, Ohio casino, and while looking for a reason to waste $500, I saw the NFL slot machine. Surely this deserved $100 of my money, but what team? I can't be my Browns at an Ohio casino. No way they let that win. So who? I realized I had to go with who brought me to this moment. Sean's Eagles just seemed like a nice tribute to the Ohio-based because the Ohio-based machine has a bias. So then, per usual, I hit the buttons on the slot and don't know what's going on. But I did like the footage above the Eagles working the chains on some random replays from 2022. Next thing I know, the machine is banging away and I hit 4 huge rolls in like 4 minutes. Took a few pictures, went from $100 to $2,000, cashed that out and had some reckless craps bubble wins. Left with $5,000, all because I picked the Eagles, I presume. Go Birds. Shout out to you, Chuck.
Gross.
Shout out to the NFL
Great
slot
DM.
machine.
Slot. How's the slot?
And he's playing bubble craps. If you don't know what he's talking about, there are these machines. It's almost like what was that game?
Hungry Hippo.
No, the game where you push down on the bubble and then the dice kicked up.
I know what you're talking about. What is that called?
If you're in the chat, there's definitely a name for that board game. And I'm completely blanking on it, but they have that, but it's
Trouble.
Trouble.
Yes. I think you're right. I think you might be right. I think it might be Trouble.
Yes. All right. Yeah. So it had the thing in the middle. They have that, but for craps where it's just like this little bubble that the dice are in. Then you hit a button and it kicks the dice around. It's real degen stuff.
Real
so
quick.
Hashtag Degens only.
Quick take on that. If you're not touching the dice,
yeah,
what are you doing? You want to make fun of slot players?
Yeah, I think the NFL slot machine is a little more legit than virtual craps. But and how are you going to hold the dice in a particular way? You can't blow on virtual dice. But again, bubble craps. The guy went on a heater. Let's get it.
Sean, you've seen that new Apple VR device. Maybe you can blow on some dice in that thing. Those are virtual.
We've gone too far. All right. Hey, before we get into the picks, and we got a ton of them, shout out to Little Caesars, the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Make Little Caesars a part of your game day. Order online during our pizza pregame all day on NFL game days and Pro Bowl Sunday. Little Caesars. I mean, we got the Super Bowl and the pizza, the pretzel crust pizza is the Super Bowl of pizzas. Love that thing. It is amazing. That goldeny, buttery brown pretzel crust with the salt sprinkles. You cannot beat it. You can get it delivered or our in-store pizza portal pickup. Grab some friends and enjoy a few slices during the game. Little Caesars Pizza. We're also brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-based or peer-to-peer social betting platform, US based, available in 40 states. If you're looking to get some of the best prices for your Super Bowl action, you should not be laying -110 to play heads or tails or laying any sort of real juice. And that's why Cut is great. I'm going to be listing heads is always my call for the Super Bowl coin toss. I'll be listing that action over on Cut.
What kind of juice you going with?
What do you mean?
What are you going to offer?
No, even money.
Okay. Just checking. I had to pop in and make
well,
sure.
maybe there's some square tails betters out there. So I'll offer Ryan, do you think I can get action on +105 heads?
I was actually thinking about just as a fun promotion, listing it at -105 and fast whoever can get there first in line.
Oh, okay.
A little plus money odds on the coin toss.
Well, see, that's what's so fun about Cut. Again, you can set your own odds and even your own bets. If you have fun Super Bowl bets that you cannot find at your current sportsbook, take them over to Cut. See if you can see if someone wants to bet the other side. They do offer opportunities on verifiable income or verifiable outcomes. So go to cut.com, KUTT.com, or download Cut in the App Store. Promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. Okay, let's take a look here at the picks.
Well, before we do that, can
Sure.
we couple things from the chat while we were gone? Yep, there we go. Mr. Huffer finally sampled that sweet pretzel crust. Congratulations to you. Always fun to pop the cherry there. Also, I know he doesn't have a picture, but Hunter in the chat pointing out that in his household, his son will always touch the dice. We appreciate you. I think there's
Raise them right.
I think there's a movement coming for people who touch dice,
Touch grass,
but touch dice.
Okay.
And then lastly, Noah, who has the most elite YouTube headshot of them all, pointing out that the Pistons actually do play in downtown Detroit at the Little Caesars Arena. So apologies for not knowing that.
Then have for
Caesars.
years now, Ryan.
Apologies, they're the worst franchise. I mean, how many games in a row did they lose?
No,
Sean,
27.
you're the NBA guy here.
You talk about the Lions? They lost 16 that one year.
Yeah.
I mean, of all, I don't understand football. Detroit's one of the original franchises. They've been haunted, and they finally have some success.
And they got ruined when they went to the Pontiac Dome, the Silver Dome. You know what I mean? And that was they were ruined then. And they're a franchise that should never deserve of any Super Bowl win or any appearance in the Super Bowl, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, may God have mercy on their souls. And look,
my goodness.
And let's talk about what do we have in college basketball. We had 18 overtimes on Saturday. How great was that? I stormed the court down here at Venice Beach. It's fantastic.
It was a great day. Multiple favorites stormed the court. So So Colby, correct me if I'm wrong. There is in no situation where you think a team shouldn't storm the court.
It's college. To me, if it happens, it happens. There's no we should never, if you storm, you storm. You got to win. That's the only thing. You got to win the game.
Colby
Gotta win the game.
Why? Why? What if everyone wants to storm? Who are you to tell them not to storm?
Oh, but
who cares if they don't win the game? It's not about winning the game. It's about having a cool TikTok.
They tried so hard though.
I like court storming, but I'm a purist. To me, you storm the court when it's a big upset win or it's a big win over your rival.
We had a great conversation. I think Noah clipped it. I'm not sure. We're gonna Noah. We're gonna have to put that up. But we called out you guys for not knowing college sports. And I was Kramer, he rushed one time at Cassell Coliseum, and all of a sudden he thinks he's some fucking expert because Ace Custis had a double-double. Right?
I ran out onto the field when Joe Paterno won his 300th game. I shook Joe Paterno's hand as he was being carried off. You know what happened when he won his 301st game? Nothing. Back to business. 302, did they storm the field? No, 303. And then eventually Jerry Sandusky came out, but you have to do it when it means something.
Yeah, Gary K's right in the chat. Storm the court when you feel like it. It's organic, and to me, that's the way it should be.
Storm the court when you feel like it. All right, just do what you feel.
Well, I have so you are a purist in some sense, Colby.
Yeah, not
if you're
here.
going to storm the court, should it not be about you and the court in that moment, not you running out there with your phone?
Oh yeah, I mean the phone thing. It's gotten a little lame in my opinion, but
selfie stick. Is that cool on the storming the court? Really? Why?
Lame.
Celebrate it. Celebrate it.
Just jump out to the middle of the court. You know what I mean? Dance with the cheerleader that you're never gonna have a chance to dance with ever again, and have a good time.
They're all just filming it on their phones. No one's doing anything cool.
Call me old fashioned, but when I used to go to a sporting event, they might consider that a billy club. And they're letting these kids just come in with these sticks.
Michael Huffer's saying storm the court at halftime. Do we storm the court at halftime? I mean, why not? You feel like it.
No, that happens at Cal and Stanford games. Now you protest shit, right?
So here would be my thing. I think it is okay to be pro. I understand that right now you feel like court storming is being attacked, so you have to support all court storming.
He's blindly defending.
But this feels a little bit like what happened in the pandemic, where we got hyper focused on making everything okay, and the outcome of making everything okay is now irreversible. My issue is, Colby, not everyone thinks about sports like you, obviously. And for you to have this opinion, I trust it. If you were at a game where your team was favored by some amount of points and you beat a rival or you beat another, you wouldn't necessarily be like, we got to get on that court. And
it has to be organic. If we're sitting there and I'm 20 Jaeger bombs deep and I'm saying, you know what, let's go. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying.
My point is they've lost the organic aspect because so many schools are doing it and they're doing it so that they can get shown on Sports Center and have their TikToks liked by Noah.
I think they were always doing it. It's just ever since Billis's
so it's
comments.
like great white. It's great white. But Billis said that like 2 days ago.
I know, but I'm saying between that and between the Caitlin Clark situation, like they're showing it more, but the same number of them are happening. I feel like as they were 20 years ago. I don't think it's like an upgrade. More people are doing it. No, I don't.
You know what the worst case scenario here is? Who's the best player in college basketball?
I mean,
your opinion. Your favorite player in all of college basketball. If that
right
player
now,
gets,
Kelly LePepe.
If Kelly LePepe gets taken out by a rogue court stormer, what will happen to Colby's opinion of court storming?
I'm saying he should have prepared himself, but you know what I mean. And I wouldn't want to be the one taking out prison strength.
I will say my general take on this, I think, is more rational, like Sean's, which is court. It should be a moment, and I don't think you should have 7 moments where you rush on the court a season, because there also is like part of why court storming is fucking cool, because you're all breaking the law together. You're all doing something you shouldn't. And if you start doing it over and over again, then you kind of are a serial offender. And I have less, there's less of a defense for saying, hey, you were just celebrating this one thing. All of a sudden you're just trespassing a half dozen times during the season. And so that would be where I stand. I worry that the over court storming is what is actually going to lead. Again, we're making it all okay. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to legislate against it. And then they're actually going to try to stop it because people are being assholes, and they're not just celebrating a magical moment. They're doing it every fucking time so they can get that like. They all want that fucking like. And you know what's crazy? Court storming should be like some sort of exotic sex move. If you do it all the time, it's not fucking exotic.
Can't be your go-to move.
Well, I mean,
you can't have anal every night.
And if it is your go-to move, then maybe we got to talk about something. Vince McMahon.
Yeah, come on.
Your guys' logic.
Colby Vince McMahon over here.
He is an ECU grad.
He wants to get freaky every night.
That is a disgusting act.
Your guys thing that was off. Like, your system is stupid in my opinion on the court storm. Iowa State was a favorite this past game against this past Saturday against Kansas. And as you saw, if you watched the lead up to the game, you had students that had camped out for like 4 days in like 7 degrees, and you're going to deprive them the fucking court storm because they were favorites.
I would, we're going to start writing this shit down. We're going to make a proper constitution of when it
court storm constitution.
Yeah, court storm constitution of when it's okay and when
I will
it's
not sign
okay.
anything until it's until I see.
I'll say this: if there was over,
I don't know if we can trust Benedict Dant around the Constitution.
All right, court storm constitution. If there was a sleepover, an outdoor sleepover.
Okay.
To wait to go to the game, because I, as someone who once, when I was in again for that Miami game where we rushed the field, you bet your ass we lined up for tickets like 2 days before they went on sale. And to me, that is a qualification for a court storm. If you put in a fucking sleep on the sidewalk or in a fucking tent, or you just hung out with your buddies getting drunk all night to wait in line to get sports tickets for like 48
he's coming
hours.
Around, Green. He's coming around.
No, I said that.
I'm gonna, all right, officially,
in big rivalry games,
24 plus hours and or sleepover outside. All right, so
I need to read the fine print before I sign any of this.
No, we're gonna get a list down. We're gonna get it ratified.
We'll get it figured
by all the founding fathers. Noah's gonna have his ink on it. Who will be the John Hancock of the court storm?
Moneyline Max seems like a states' rights guy. It could be a long battle too.
You know what? I bet you Noah has a really nice signature, and it's got a
electric.
I have a feeling he has a giant N. All right, you want to talk about
Yes.
I was hoping in my
Talk
head
about the games.
In my head, I was hoping he had a D in his name, so I could say he had a huge D in his signature. All right, we're heading to the my favorite time slot on the calendar. 3:30 on the West Coast, right in Knoxville, Tennessee, where the Cocks of South Carolina are taking on the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee laying 13.5 here. Colby, who did I just see? And I'm blanking. Is joining the South Carolina football staff. Someone notable, someone that I would have crossed my. I'll look it up while you're talking about this game. So what are we doing here with Rick Barnes and the fellas in a what I would say here not circled as a recruiting trip for Rick Barnes. So always need a little extra push to pick them laying big number.
South Carolina's been one of the best stories in college basketball this year. They're 17-3. Lamont Paris doing an unbelievable job. Obviously, they stormed the court just in the past 7 days against the Kentucky Wildcats there in Columbia. Then they took down Mizzou in a game that I thought was a letdown spot. So they bounced back well. But I think the line is telling you. There's a reason why the Vols are 10-0 at home. I know they're coming off a rivalry game against Vanderbilt, if you deem that a rivalry game. I kind of think South Carolina is walking into a trap here, and I think Tennessee. And I've been back in South Carolina. I feel like majority of the season here, but I just feel like Tennessee at home. I know. South Carolina has had a few guys injured of late, but they get Miles Stute back, their guard, for this game. I think that could also throw off the rhythm. It's a hostile environment. They know South Carolina's on the verge of being ranked. I think the Vols. I think we lay that big number with the Vols.
Yeah, I mean, how can you? To me, if you're gonna fade Tennessee at home, you got to have a good reason. And as well as the South Carolina team has been playing, get some nice upset wins. I think they're just outmatched. I mean, 13.5 is certainly pretty crazy, but we see this all the time. Like once they get up double digits, this Tennessee defense isn't gonna. I think is really going to be able to shut down the South Carolina offense. So I think they win by margin. It's chalky, but yeah, Tennessee minus 13.5.
And Daquan brings up a great point in the chat saying, if you haven't beat your opponent in 4 straight years, you should be able to storm. Yeah. I mean, that one, I'll sign that one in there too.
4 years only. That's a
whole
term.
college. That's a whole college cycle though.
So you're saying if you've been basically, we're not saying 0-8 because not every conference plays 2 games. We're saying 4 years of losing.
4 years of losing. I mean, yeah, I think you're talking to me. I believe the storm should happen. Storm on. You know what I mean?
Right. So if Tennessee wins here, just to be clear, if Tennessee wins here, we're not storming
unless they want to. 17-3 is 17-3.
What do you mean if they want to?
It's got to be
Kobe,
organic.
You're gonna make a great.
Gotta be organic.
Hey, don't do that unless you want to. If you want to, then do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, look, they're 17-3. They have a better record than Tennessee. I can build this fucking case for you if you want.
Yeah, but they're a huge favorite. Tennessee, not court storm approved.
I'm with Sean. Not approved for any court storming activities, and I like a favorite before I like a dog. Although I do like how every time we talk South Carolina, Colby has to say the coach's full name, one of his coaching faves. So just keep that in mind too when Colby's talking about the Cox.
I faded him, buddy. Yeah.
But you love Lamont Paris.
I do. I
think you just like his name. North Carolina heads to Atlanta, Georgia, where Georgia Tech is catching 11.5 points. These numbers are out there. These are not Prick Dundee originating numbers. So what's Chick-fil-A will be open. It is a Tuesday. Georgia Tech trash. We got a North Carolina player on the thumbnail. Are we foreshadowing here?
I mean, big favorites. Also, probably a reason why we're seeing court storming is that road teams, especially good road teams, have really. I mean, you want to talk about top 10 road teams. However, you're looking at your rankings. Big road favorites have really struggled this year. I mean, pointing out towards just how college parity has been crazy this year. Teams have really good teams that are big favorites have struggled on the road. That's why there's been a number of big upsets That's why there's been a number of justifiable storming of the courts, some unjustifiable. But
Carolina, not one of those teams.
you don't think Carolina can be set up for a letdown spot?
Carolina, has 10 straight wins. Colby tied with Richmond and High Point from the Big South, for second longest streak in the nation.
Do you know what happened Saturday?
Hold on, who has the longest streak
for the most consecutive wins?
Yes. North Carolina, Richmond, and High Point tied for second longest streak on 10 wins. The leader has 13 straight wins.
My first thought would be UConn.
I want to know.
Ooh, LSU. No, McNeese. Okay,
yeah. Will Wade, longest win streak in the nation on 13. No, I don't think I said this earlier. I am not getting in the business of fading this Carolina team right now. Maybe there's opportunities when pressure gets tighter.
Wait. You don't know what's on Saturday.
You got Duke coming up on Saturday. It's a classic look ahead spot. Georgia Tech is the play all day.
Don't care.
And the Yellow Jackets have gotten up for they beat Duke on this court. They get up for the big games.
Yes.
It's they lose to the shitty teams.
This is the only thing they do right is show up and upset big favorites.
And another thing, where are you guys going to write in there that any buzzer beater means court storm approved?
What?
That's the chat was saying that. The chat was saying that.
Any buzzer beater?
Yeah.
Buzzer beater game winner.
I think.
Yeah. For obviously for you winning. Yes.
Okay. So game winning buzzer beater. I feel like that's got to be like with other stuff. Like maybe if it's a right, well, I'll have to discuss that more with my people. I'm not sure I'm with that one. I'm laying the points here. I'm fully aware of the look ahead spot. That's fine. This North Carolina team has been very consistent.
This is why they're letting down.
Okay.
You're consistent until you're not.
That is fair. Like every good trend, it comes to an end at some point. Marquette heads to Philly / Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania to take on Villanova. This is a high meeting of the private school Illuminati chapters here. Villanova catching a point at home. How are we feeling about Shaka right now?
Great
Colby.
Second half. They were getting beat down by Seton Hall. That was a tough game. I feel like we should put an asterisk next to our record because we called it so early in the week, or a couple days before. Kadary Richmond didn't play. That's their best player. I would like a mulligan on that one, but.
Okay, look at Colby using golf terms. I didn't know he was a golf guy.
Oh, he loves the elite sport of golf.
Love golf. John Daly's one of my favorites. Marquette hitting the road here. Can't trust him. Look, they're a little bit depleted. Now I know Villanova's been a roller coaster all year, but Villanova should have beaten Butler. It was a crazy double overtime game there in Hinkle. I think the Wildcats bounce back, get it done. They are the more desperate team here by far.
Yeah, I don't know what. Oh man, they really blew that Butler game. But to your point, Colby, they're desperate. They're at home. They need this game, and Marquette. Sure, I mean they've been on a nice little run here, but they're lost.
3-3 on the road, man. This year,
their road record is not great. They just lost at Seton Hall January 6th. Sure, they beat DePaul and St. John's, but lost at Seton Hall, lost at Providence, lost at Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin's tough, but
Nova losing 4 straight. Some of those were close games. I think they bounce back. They're due.
Yeah,
so you're not worried about the double overtime game.
No, certainly. The legs could be a little tired.
The better way to highlight their road record, I would say, is the Illinois game was the 3rd game of the season. So at this point, you almost have to throw it out. But they're only real. I mean, they beat St. John's. Sure, the DePaul when you can't count it all.
Should have lost to St. John's.
Yeah, it was a 1-point win. That's my point. And so I think you have to fade Marquette on the road.
Let's go.
All right, Discord. Getting the Discord loaded up with some nice early action. Texas Tech heads to TCU. Fort Worth, Texas. TCU laying 5. Jamie Dixon. Sean and I watched TCU seemingly get every bounce against Baylor.
that game was hilarious. I mean, it was like the sloppiest, awesome game ever. Like just every possession, there's like 4 bodies on the ground. The ball, never gets to where you're supposed to go on a pass.
I kept wanting to turn the game off or leave or whatever. But I mean, Baylor was in control of that game. They should not have let TCU back in that to begin with. And then it kept going single overtime. All right. Dogs go to die in overtime, double overtime. No, come on, triple overtime at home.
Yeah,
Baylor, you got to get that win.
But I mean, it's rare to get road wins in the Big 12. Both these teams, Texas Tech with a huge upset. Oklahoma had that game won. Oklahoma was up 7 with like 4 minutes left and lost the game.
This is weird because I do want to kind of fade both teams off of these games. One, the Oklahoma. To your point, the Oklahoma 1-point win by Texas Tech. Now you come back. Now you're staying out on the road at TCU. That's a fade spot. But then on the other side, TCU just won a triple OT game against Baylor. You want to fade them too. I want to fade both teams.
And it's a tricky spot as far as Texas Tech's currently number 1 in the Big 12. So are they getting up for this? But they also have Texas on deck and all this drama. How about that from this past weekend, by the way? Mark Pope apologizing for fucking BYU fans wearing horns down t-shirts. What the hell's going on in this planet of ours? What's going on here? We can't do horns down on an away game? What the fuck is going on?
It's officially added to the you offend people when you say horns down. Because Texas is so high and mighty, they're allowed to put their horns up, but you can't have people do horns down.
Yeah, we need Jake merch store horns down, always horns down shirt. Because fuck them. Why are you so sensitive? They act like you're saying some horrific slur or something. I'm putting your logo and putting it upside down because you suck. Yeah, like, get over yourself.
No throat slash. No,
I can't
vulgar
wait.
language.
I'm actually glad they're joining the SEC because if they think this is an issue now.
Oh.
Yeah, wait till Georgia fans get a hold of the horns down idea.
Have fun in Baton Rouge. I've been drunk and been to football games at Baton Rouge. Good luck.
We were drunk in LA, surrounded by people from Baton Rouge, and I can see that.
Yeah,
including you. You were part of it. You were part of it.
Yeah,
I was the one representing for UCLA. I was the one representing for UCLA, and they threw me out. Fucking West Coast, man.
He's a big. That same guy is a huge McNeese State guy now. So,
but back to this game, I think TCU is the play. The fact that Texas Tech's in first place, I think it's really hard to get consecutive road wins in the Big 12. TCU's 9-1 at home for a reason. I think they get it done. I like.
I'm taking Texas Tech. I see your case there, but just the amount of crazy 50-50 balls that went TCU's way, I have to fade it. Now maybe I'm biased because I was locked in. I had Baylor as one of my locks on that game, but the amount of 50-50 balls that TCU got was so unsustainable. And you're getting 5 points with Texas Tech. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a win, but don't cover for TCU. But 5 is too many. Give me Texas Tech.
You're seeing that through the gambler's eyes.
Yes,
I think I would look through the lens of TCU. One of the most experienced teams in the country, and Baylor looked at times like they wanted to give up in that game. TCU had no quit in them. They definitely got some lucky bounces, but I would even go as far to say I'm taking TCU here, home team in the Big 12, but I'm also putting TCU on a list of teams that I can trust in March. I think this team is bad. I think this team's tournament ready. I mean, that's Jameer Nelson's kid. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, I mean, they seem like they have guys who weren't getting rattled by the situation, and to the point, those lucky bounces, maybe that's a little bit because they weren't getting rattled and they were staying calm. TCU lay the points, another favorite on the pile. Syracuse, Sean, not donning the orange right now. Maybe he'll go change. Syracuse heads to Chestnut Hill. I can't imagine we're talking about this game for any other reason than Sean.
Colby keeps baiting me into taking Syracuse every single time.
I hope you bet him on Saturday because they were easy cash taking on the pussy pack known as NC State.
I like that. The pussy pack. Boston College laying 3 here. 4 p.m.
Still scarred from the Florida State loss.
I mean, the ACC is just amazing. You got to just keep your head on a swivel in the ACC.
I think you got to take Cuse. Give me Syracuse one more time. They need this game.
When I watch
you can't trust Boston College at home. You can't trust Boston College. Period. They're what 3-5 in their last 8. Like they have not looked good. Granted, they covered against Virginia Tech.
Oh, by a point. That was you want to talk about one that I got you on the right side on. Got the wrong outcome. Process over results, Sean. Yeah, I mean this game kind of to me sums up most of the ACC games in a nutshell. Don't really want to bet on either team.
I'll raise you one higher. Don't really want to watch it, but
no, Syracuse defense best unit on the court.
Don't offend Sean. He likes Syracuse.
No, 31st in adjusted efficiency. If they can get some of these shots to start falling, they might be a little frisky come conference tournament time.
I would say they kind of recently watching this Boston College team. I did think that it was probably Boston College is a very lazy team around the 3-point line. I don't even think Virginia Tech crushed them behind the arc. They might. I don't think they shot 40%, but it's available to you. And so I know typically Syracuse, not what they used to be, bad 3-point shooting team, but the way this team plays, like they'll let you get hot on them. I don't think I can bet Boston College, especially coming off if you're not from the Northeast, you might not be aware of how much of an Illuminati private school matchup it is between Boston College and Notre Dame.
There is a letdown spot after playing Notre Dame.
If you go to a Catholic high school in New Jersey and you play sports, those two schools are both in the top 3 of your most likely destination. And so letdown spot, give me Syracuse. Plus, I'm sure I'll be watching this with Sean.
Got to take the cues. I haven't bet on Boston College athletics since the early 90s. And that's not going to start now. So, cues, I think, BC, you never know, if their home environment, are people going to be there? Are people going to support the team?
Colby, I want your team to start
There's
looking.
There's probably also
this.
a lot of Syracuse alumni in the Boston area that might actually support them.
Well, I don't think Syracuse could ever go away just because of how many people are like in the media. There's just too much pressure there. Boston College, it sounds like, has had legitimate conversations about taking a step back from sports with all the realignment. Like, I don't think Boston College has any interest in trying to stay competitive with what's happening. So to Colby's point, will anyone be there? Probably not. Anytime I've been to a Boston College home game of anything, it's an embarrassing vibe.
It wasn't always that way. I don't know what happened up there.
I would almost like to put an amendment that Boston College can never storm based on their horrible home environment. VCU,
you should feel shame.
VCU heads to Bonaventure, New York to take on St. Bonaventure. The Bonnies laying 3.5. I really regret not just leaning massively into the Bonnies last Friday. I got talked into some other directions. They took care of business for us against
Put
St.
it
Joe's.
on St. Joe's. Yeah, that was a nice cash.
They're now laying 3.5 against VCU. This kind of feels like a random game to have on the card here, Sean. I'm going to have Colby explain himself.
What are you talking about? I mean, currently VCU is, the A10 is fantastic. VCU is contenders to win the A10. They have the Richmond game on deck, might I add, which is Richmond's in first place.
Spiders,
one of the hottest teams in the nation. But then you have the Bonnies, and the Bonnies at home. I make car parts for the American man because that's what I care about. It's hard to go into the O'Reilly Center and get the dub. You know what I mean? So I'm all over the Bonnies here. It's such a look ahead spot with Richmond on deck. The Bonnies are a different team when they play at that stadium. They're like when they hit the road is when you worry about the Bonnies.
When in doubt, Fade. Just take home teams right now in general in college basketball. To Colby's point, especially this Bonaventure team at home. Loved what I saw out of them on Friday night. I think a lot of that continues, and then you sprinkle on the VCU look ahead spot, and you got a great combo here. 4 feels way too short. Oh, it's 3.5. Yeah, court.
Worth noting.
Bond.
The Bonnies did beat them by 11, coming out of the holiday break or whatever they call it.
You're so taking VCU, right, Kramer?
There could be some revenge here. No. Bonnies make me money. And we have a couple fans who are Bonnie fans. So that whenever I pick them, they hit me up in the DMs, and that always makes me feel nice. Illinois heads to Columbus, Ohio.
Pick Ryan up. Tell him Lamar Jackson's going to be better next year.
Yeah. Tell me everything's going to be, you know what? Sean, can we celebrate? Maybe I'm close to 10,000 followers, so we can have a celebration.
Oh yeah.
When I get there, maybe a cake,
surprise party,
some balloons. This world has really gone to shit. Illinois heads to Columbus, Ohio. Ohio State Ohio State plus 3.5 at home here. I was told by Noah Bieniek to bet all the money on Illinois to win the conference if I could find a price of 10-1. So I did. So I feel invested in this Illinois team. Colby, am I laying the points on the road here? I don't think the Big Ten is a home team at all costs conference this season.
I don't know. Big Ten normally
spread wise, it's been mixed bag.
I have a hard time with this Ohio State team because Holtman. I'm not a big believer of him as a coach, but Illinois is due for a closer game. I think they storm in Columbus. Give me the Buckeyes. Look, they need this. They're the more desperate team. They're 13-7. You want any chance of making the NCAA tournament? You get a top 10 win here. That will travel a long way moving forward. They've been so inconsistent though. They've been a hard team to get a read on. They are the better free throw shooting team though for you, Sean. So maybe that's why we load up on the Buckeyes.
It matters. Yeah. Everyone. Oh, all you do is pick the better free throw shooting team. But when you're sitting at plus 3.5, and then do they foul? Do they not foul? You hit a couple shots there at the end. That's the difference in these games. I like Ohio State here as the home dog. I can't trust. I don't know, Illinois. It's tough to get a read on them because their road games have been against, for the most part, much better competition. Although they lost to Northwestern on the road, that was in OT. Beat Michigan, who you should always beat Michigan at this point. Lost to a Purdue team who obviously is better than Tennessee. They lost on the road. That's always going to be tough. Took care of Rutgers. It's tough to really get a feel for them, but in general, I don't like Illinois on the road, especially in a road favorite Big Ten game. I'm going Ohio State.
So is Ohio State close to wanting to replace their coach?
I thought he was going to get replaced last year. I don't know. He's got some photos of somebody or something. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
They should. The last time when they had to replace a coach, they looked at Butler for their replacement. Maybe they could look back at Butler and bring Thad Matta back in it.
Most ridiculous firing of all time. Oh, you only took us to the national championship game and 2 Final Fours, but hey, tough year, still had a winning record. You're fired.
I was gonna say, just looking the fact that Chris Holtman's been. It seems like it wasn't 2017 when Thad Matta got fired from Ohio State, but I feel like they probably made a mistake with that one in hindsight. All right, yeah, yes. I'm also on. Actually, no. Give me Illinois. Like I said, I'm invested. Lay the points.
Hey, you know what I'm invested in? Underdog Fantasy. Got a nice little best ball team, Ryan, that cashed a little $500. No big deal.
You're making up for the regular season.
Yeah, I did not do well in the regular season best ball, making it up in playoffs. And of course, we will be giving out some Super Bowl Battle Royale stuff. But until then, we got college hoops to talk about, and there's a bunch of fun college hoops in the pick'em section. Of course, go higher, lower on your favorite college basketball plays. Cash in big. Colby, let's talk CBB Underdog Fantasy. What are some plays you like for tonight or tomorrow night?
Well, first I want to get is the Storm. Are they storm eligible in Blacksburg today?
Oh yeah, everyone wants to know, Ryan.
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Who are they playing, Colby? Duke. This is an easy one. Are you playing Duke? If yes, then
so anyone playing Duke, you're okay. Okay.
I think in general, if you beat Duke, it's probably okay.
Yeah, because you're probably the dog.
Let's go with. I'll say Hunter Couture. Now I know.
Do we not have? Oh yeah, we only have a couple options. In this one.
Hunter Couture. I will take the higher than 12 points. I think he's a guy that is essential. If Virginia Tech is going to win this game, which I did not project, but I think it'll be close. I think he's got to be a key contributor tonight.
He's old. He's like 28 at this point, Sean. So he should be, high pressure situation. Hopefully,
Van Wilder.
But he also they were making jokes on the broadcast a couple weeks ago about like he dunked, and they're like, "Oh yeah, look, the old fella can still get up there." And it's like he's in college, he's playing college basketball, and you're making knee jokes.
All right, I'll take higher, Colby. What else we got?
Let's jump over to the Texas at Houston game. After that, I would say Max Asmus had a terrible, somewhat of a terrible game in Provo at the Super Soaker. So he comes back home. Houston has Kansas on deck. I think Texas is a live dog. So I think Asmus responds from a bad game. And I'm going to keep it basic. I think higher than 15.5 points. You remember Max Asmus from Oral Roberts, right, Sean?
Oh
so
yeah.
Can I pitch a pivot?
Sure.
I watched
opposite of everything what Colby recommended.
I watched our guy Max Asmus, and he was electric, just filling the passing lane and getting steals.
Ooh.
I see in the fantasy scoring, steal is 3 points, an assist is 1.5, rebound 1.2, 0.1, and a turnover is -1. I'm gonna. What if we went
20 higher, 26.45 fantasy points? All right, because then that covers.
I like it.
That covers you for a lot of stuff.
It does.
It's like points, rebounds, assists plus steals.
I saw a guy who he's one of those defenders. He's not a great on-ball defender, but he's smart, and he was able to take advantage of some lazy passes. So he gets 2 or 3 steals. That's 9 points right there. So
Noah pointed out Hunter Couture higher than on his points, 9-1.
Whoa.
Versus high majors. So love the nugget there. Noah.
Maybe Noah could start giving us this entry, so Colby doesn't have to keep losing.
Yeah, Underdog Fantasy.
He's doing a great article. He's doing a great article over there on that. SGPN.com
on the internet,
sportsgamblingpodcast.com. But yeah, I think SGPN.com. No,
I've tried. All right,
it's not available.
Yeah, you want that could almost be a Patreon episode. My attempts to acquire SGPN.com from the Chinese.
They're holding it hostage.
They are holding it hostage. They call it cyber squatting, Sean.
Oh, okay.
I know you're a fan of squatters. Squatters' rights. Apologies. Oklahoma heads to Manhattan, Kansas, the Little Big Apple to take on Kansas State. Porter Moser and the gang, boy, they are just. They are letting. I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed. Come on, guys. In general, I still no reports of him returning Sister Jean's phone call. 5 p.m. on the West Coast. Are we just firing another home Big 12 game? Which, by the way, the announcer during the Baylor TCU game literally screamed, "I love the Big 12." It's pretty electric. Are we just firing another home team here, Colby?
Oh man, this one's tough. Cause K-State, they've lost 2 in a row, but Oklahoma's lost 2 in a row at the same point. But yeah, I mean, I just think that Oklahoma's hitting a little bit of a wall here. And the energy of this building, I gotta lay the 2. I think it's anyone's game. I think it will come down to the final possession or 2, but man, the Little Apple gets lit. I'm taking Jerome Tang and the Wildcats -2.
Tang gang. Now, Colby, if Kansas State wins, should they storm the court?
No.
Okay, so this is actually a situation where you're saying, now, do you think they should storm the court whenever they want?
No.
Well, see, now I'm getting a little confused because you say, "Hey, storm the court if it's organic."
No.
All right, I'm confused.
That's a nice clip. I do like that clip that you guys got
Colby,
going there.
Why are you pulling back the curtain?
Appreciate that.
It's
Appreciate
such a great
that.
clip.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
I just think,
Colby, are you in for lunch today?
No. K-State's 10-1 at home. Oklahoma's 1-2 on the road. K-State's the better offensive rebounding team too. I think that's all the difference in the game right there. And Jerome Tang, they're like both teams they're in both are in real desperate spots, but I think K-State being at home, all the difference, they win by 4 or 5.
Yeah, to your point, these aren't exactly teams that are chucking up a ton of threes. And so kind of feels like there's going to be a lot of banging, a lot of rebounding. So I think that is a key stat to call out. Kansas State around down low. Although, I mean, you could say the same about Oklahoma. We'll see. Home team. I heard nothing. Colby direct me to take the road team.
Is Oklahoma going to cover?
No.
All right. Well, simple enough. I mean, can't to your point.
I don't like fading Porter Moser though. Just in general.
Yeah, but this feels
so
like a pretty evenly matched game. Like I don't see.
You got to be careful. Colby is a little bit in love with Jerome Tang. He's on Colby's Mount Rushmore of coaches he loves right now.
He did mention lit for the game environment, which is always
I'm just gonna
kind of a red flag to maybe just put your Colby radar on.
The only reason why Jerome Tang was great was that he was doing Jaeger bombs at the football game. You know what I mean with the K-State fans up there in the crowd. He was, and it wasn't like you could go on the field if you're the fucking basketball coach. He was not. He was in the thick of it with the students. That you won me over right there.
So Lamont Paris, Jerome Tang, just a couple coaches I'm throwing on the list here. Yeah, home team. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this really could go either way. Kansas State, short enough favorite at home. I'll take him.
I've had a rocky relationship with Porter lately, though. So give Sister Gina a call, Porter. 5:30 on the West Coast. Right in Oxford, Mississippi, where Mississippi State and Ole Miss play. Do they call this the egg? They don't call basketball games bowls. The Egg Classic. Ole Miss laying 2. Clear rivalry spot. What do they call it, Colby?
I think it's just the Egg Bowl and the hardwood.
Oh,
right?
okay. But that seems odd because you don't normally call basketball games bowls. They call them classics.
Yeah, maybe the egg classic,
the hard boiled classic.
I like this hard boiled angle.
Yeah,
getting hungry.
We got something there. We're getting close.
This game's fantastic. I mean, they hate each other. This is the one to watch out of all these, man. This. Come on, this one is fair. As SEC Network will be broadcasting this one, FYI. And Ole Miss just had a huge win against the Buzzsaw. Chris Beard saying, "Get this little bullshit Buzzsaw out of here." They went to College Station and got it done. But at the same time, Chris Jans and Mississippi State took down the Auburn Tigers in Stark Vegas. So both teams coming off of big time wins. It's going to be a rock fight. Both these teams play elite defense. I mean, I think right now both chart in what I think top 100 defense. I would assume right now. Jans specifically, I know they're like a top 20 defense.
Always
but
down there, rock.
But Ole Miss, I know, has had so much roster. With getting all those waivers, maybe they are not as good statistically as they really are right now. I'm on Mississippi State though. I think a rock fight favors them. It's year 2 of Jans. It's year 1 of Beard.
Are we worried about? I mean, this Mississippi State offense on the road. Are we not? Concerned about that?
Of course you should be. This is a rock fight, but I think that the same thing for the other side. Like Mississippi State's defensive rating is a top 40 defensive rating.
Defense travels.
I just think this is going to be a close game the entire way through. Mississippi State steals it, gets it outright.
I think a comp maybe would be the Rutgers game, where it was a somewhat away game for Mississippi State, played good defense, held them to 60 points, got the win. I think that's what you got to do here. If you hold Mississippi to 65, 60 in that range, I think you can get the win.
Colby, which game did Mississippi State win on the road?
Rutgers.
None. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Where'd they play that game?
New Jersey, somewhere in New Jersey.
Yeah, I don't think it was at like a true home court though.
I mean, come on though. If you went to New Jersey though,
no, that's fine. I'm just saying they have not traveled well. This is a short number. I do think if you break down the micro bits of the handicap, I'd be intrigued to see if Mississippi can get Mississippi State into foul trouble, and the game ends up being decided at the line, something where Mississippi has a huge advantage in. So always going to take Chris Beard. Nothing against Jans. There's 2 of our favorite Chris's on the coaching list right here, but give me Ole Miss at home. You guys are wrong. Discord doesn't get a pick on this one.
Coach Leach is disappointed in you.
Yeah,
why?
When in doubt, if it's a rivalry game, take the team with the best defense.
I don't identify with Coach Leach doing anything else than coaching Washington State anymore. That's just how I see it. That's just how I see it.
Wow.
If Coach Leach was going to have his ashes put on any of his football career paths, it's going to be Pullman. He connected with that community more than any. Please
see though. This is where though,
and he's going to come back as Bigfoot. Actually, that's now we know if we ever see a Bigfoot sighting, it's
but
actually
you forget,
Coach Leach.
I feel like you're. This is a short-sighted statement by you because
maybe
you do forget that he was the coach of the Pori Bears in Finland, right?
I always consider him a Pori Bears coach.
That's part of the story, of course. It's part of the story. All right. Moving along to Lawrence, Kansas, back in the States, 6 p.m. on the West Coast.
Wait, real quick. Michael Huffer checking in on the chat saying, my boss called me during the middle of the show. Dundee's voice definitely made it on the Zoom. All good though. They're just as big of a DGen.
Oh, you
Michael,
should
tell him to subscribe to the show.
And good time to remind people if you're YouTube heads, it's still very helpful to the old DGen community if you subscribe on Spotify.
Yes,
maybe Apple Podcasts.
Every download counts.
Listen, my wife, she is subscribed to the Hockey Gambling Podcast, the NASCAR Gambling.
Let
podcast.
it slide.
Does she listen to every episode? I don't know, but she's subscribed.
I would assume so.
We'll see. She is hopping around cut, upset that I lost $1,700 trying to find my money.
Yeah,
back,
I don't know how you didn't get this week's Real Men of Degen ride for getting scolded by your wife.
I think you saved that for a Super Bowl show, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe the exotic prop episode. Oklahoma State taking on Kansas. Kansas laying a mega number here. Oklahoma State, are they done with their self sanctions, Colby? I don't think we've circled back on that situation in a while.
Yeah, and I think Mike Boynton needs to, like, as much as I like Mike Boynton, I think his days are numbered because, man, their fan turnout the past couple games has been pretty weak, and
they suck. That's why.
Yeah. He self-admitted those things, man. That was the worst part about it. They should have just, because those teams were going to make the tournament. He could have really bought momentum there. I don't know. What
did they have with? They have Cade Cunningham. Was he at Oklahoma State? Yeah.
Musa Cisse, Cade Cunningham. They had a few different guys.
Fucking idiots.
And they paid the price for it. And now you're sitting there saying, what's become of this program? This is a proud program. I think they've gone to 2 Final Fours, at least that I can recall since the 90s. They seem to just be falling apart. So I don't know. And then you have Kansas coming off the Iowa State loss. If they want any chance of making the Big 12, winning the regular season title, they got to get their shit together. I still think 14 is a rather large number, so I'm going to take the points.
Schematically, it kind of.
We kind of have a formula for this Kansas team coming off a road loss. They lost at UCF. Then you think, bounce back, but they beat Oklahoma by 12. Then they lose to West Virginia. Think, all right, bounce back spot at home. They beat Cincinnati by 5. Iowa State, they lose on Saturday. We were all over that. And now what do they do here? It feels like they win, but don't cover.
That's what I think. It's going to be like a 12-point win. Kansas has Houston on deck.
Yeah.
So the storming will be happening then. If they win, I would imagine.
So if Kansas wins, they should storm the court, right?
I mean, if the energy's right, you got a lot of history there. If the fog's talking to you, you gotta just, feel it and storm. But
you got,
no,
I wonder if you're betting on Oklahoma State, you're betting that they're going to be able to hit some 3-pointers. It's the Kansas weak point. They've let some. West Virginia would probably be the best example of letting a team that's way inferior to you get hot behind the line. They just beat the shit out of Oklahoma. Did either of you say they just beat the shit out of Oklahoma State by 26 points or 24 points 2 weeks ago?
They did.
If that was in Oklahoma, so is that a revenge game aspect or no?
Kansas certainly isn't going to have their A game if they know they whooped the shit out of this team.
Yeah, and
so to your point on a flat point, this is a Yeah, let's take the points
and look ahead too. You got like multiple.
Easy. I like how we workshop that one. Nice job, guys. And Oklahoma State, feel like they would storm a road court. Like they're the kind of program that could not right now because they don't have fans. But
you mean like the great East Carolina University that did that at NC State, and Jim Valvano said we're never going to play you again.
That would be a great list, Colby. Teams that have stormed the court on the road. San Jose State, Virginia Tech Hokies last year against UVA. That would be one. Those cowards. They didn't even defend their state. If your stadium or court is being stormed, rightfully or not rightfully, and you don't defend your ground as a university, you should lose your right to play that sport for a season.
Your storming rights are taken.
It's like risk. Let's if we're gonna take this seriously, San Jose State, another 6 p.m. on the West Coast start. We're heading to Logan, Utah, because San Jose State's taking on Utah State. They've always kept a good program, according to Colby. They're laying 13.5 here. I randomly had some San Jose State action on cut the other day. That didn't work out well. Colby, what are we doing here with this mega number?
And they do keep a good program. 3 coaches in the past 4 years they've made the NCAA tournament. Assuming Sprinkle makes the tournament, and I think that he will. He's 18-2 right now. They're in first place in the Mountain West. Huge win at Boise State the other day. I know we could say this is a little bit of a letdown spot because they do have at San Diego State on deck, but I kind of think Logan is one of the toughest places to get a dub at. This place. Oh, this is the epitome of lit. I think I just got to lay it. San Jose State is still a quality team. I think their records, better. They're a better team than their record. UC 8-12, but they're a solid team. It's just the Mountain West is really loaded this year. But I just can't do it. I can't do it here. Them traveling to an environment, San Jose, it's like the opposite. Their home games are nothing.
Yeah, you
got to go into Logan where it's just everything's being screamed at you. They thrown batteries before. There's just everything that Utah State by 25. Let's go.
The Utah
and elevation 4,500.
Yeah.
I just started a new list on my college basketball cheat sheet of elevation spots.
Logan, Utah, sneaky, and if you're San Jose State, to Colby's point, like, are you going to win at Utah State? Probably not. But then you have Nevada up next after that, which to me much more. I think maybe a little better spot for them.
Yeah, beating Steve Alford always easier than beating Utah State.
Well, in Utah State as well. It's chalky, but I think you got to take Utah State here. Kramer, are you in alignment?
Yeah, I mean, what I was going to say earlier was that they also seem to be rapidly climbing the racist remark power rankings for home.
Wasn't that the best part about that? About the BYU thing was that Mark Pope's apologizing. They asked the students he's like, that's not us. And for the horns down thing. And I'm like, what are you talking? Horns down. If you're saying horns down compared to some of the shit that I've heard said there from players' accounts,
a little bit more tame.
Yeah, it's like, what? If anything, society is getting better by horns down in Utah. Unbelievable. But yeah, Utah State minus the points all day.
And real quick,
Kramer, assume it's a favorite. Assume you're on it.
Yeah, and I just wanted to, because I know everyone likes to learn about stuff while they're listening to the program. Logan, Utah. The city was built on terraces of the prehistoric lake Bonneville at the mouth of the Logan Canyon. Sean, as you mentioned, at 4,500 feet above sea level in the Wasatch mountain range. So now we know. Moving along. Neither of you seem to enjoy that geographical lesson. We're gonna.
No, I love the Wasatch Mountain.
Josh, make a note next time we talk Utah State. There will be a pop trivia for Colby and Utah.
Colby, did you enjoy that segment?
No.
I mean, you can give him feedback after the show. You don't have to say it right to his face. Little rude, Colby.
Michigan heads to East Lansing, Michigan, to take on Michigan State.
And remember, Dug McDaniel's on house arrest.
Yep, Noah. Against Wisconsin, told me to take Michigan State, had all these great stats. Then after they failed to get it done, he's like, actually, they're probably just saving it for Izzo to get his 700th win against Michigan.
Yeah, come on. We should have. I mean, shame on us for not realizing it was a look ahead spot to Michigan.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I assume
I
that,
thought we had SGPN people in the state of Michigan to alert us of these, but
some would say that a college basketball expert should know this.
Agreed.
Noah, sorry, no. I'll do that off air next time. Yeah. So what do we? It's a big number though to lay in a rivalry spot.
Play
No
it.
way.
No
way.
Dug McDaniel. No Dug McDaniel. Remember, he's got this thing. He's for his academically ineligible on the road. At home, he's okay. And they get drilled.
Is he
on
like
the road.
too dumb to figure out the travel arrangements? Like he's so bad at math, he gets on the wrong flight number. Like how are you academically ineligible for road games, but not home games as well?
I think it's Michigan's things of like, well, if we suspend him for the whole season, we need some wins, and he's our best player. So load up. I think Michigan State's good. They're gonna win by 20.
Can Michigan State win by 20?
Have you looked at Michigan on the road lately?
Yeah,
they
lost
by 32 the last time they hit the road.
I'm laying it.
They did beat Penn State by 31.
I'm laying it. Can I ask a question?
But they had him then, though. I think they had him.
Are we court storming? Because Sean, you kind of made it seem like this is the kind of thing you approve. Celebrating.
They're going to carry Izzo off the court.
Celebrating Joe Pa's 300th win. Celebrating Tom Izzo's 700th win. Are we approving?
Colby, should they storm the court?
No, Every time you beat.
I don't understand this. Colby's so confusing.
Every time you beat Michigan, you can storm.
All right. So if they don't cover, are they still storming?
They need to cover.
That would be pretty funny. Please don't cover and storm the court anyway. That would be a great controversial moment. San Diego State heads to Fort Collins, Colorado, to take on Colorado State, who, by the way, Sean, more fun trivia you can throw around with your buddies. Used to be called Colorado A&M.
I know, because we bet on them when they were wearing the Aggies jersey and they lost.
I wonder if they're also.
They won, but they didn't cover.
I wonder if they're also into pageantry.
Should I count as a lose?
Maybe they also have a core.
They
of
have
cadets.
a lassie.
They have a branch in the military that somehow is just designated to cheer in front of fans at the stadium. Very interesting military position. San Diego State, Colorado State here. Colorado State, rock fighters. San Diego State, better rock fighters. San Diego State. This is the kind of matchup where the location is the only thing giving me the pause.
Yeah, because if you just looked at the numbers, you would take San Diego State, but Colorado State lost 2 games on the road, coming back. This is kind of their Super Bowl for the Mountain West. But on the other side, San Diego State, probably the better team. They've
only once stepped up on the road though. The majority, like they've lost the majority of their home.
games. They got destroyed. You look at San Diego State last 2 away games. They lost at Boise State and then got destroyed at New Mexico. Did beat San Jose State, so
don't care.
But that's not a road game.
Not a tough road spot. Yeah. The Gonzaga road game is the only road game that you circle and you're like, that's a nice win. Because even UC San Diego, again, not very lit. They only won by a point.
They lost to Grand Canyon.
So So it sounds like we like Colorado State. Yeah.
You can't look Colorado State. I don't know if you guys caught that Wyoming game on Saturday where Colorado State had an 11-point lead with 54 seconds left, and the game went to overtime. One of the most amazing games you'll ever see. And they lost in overtime. So they're coming off that heartbreak loss to a rival, only separated by about 40 miles. I think Colorado State knows the situation. That was a bad loss, and they need to bounce back. And also San Diego State, they have Utah State on deck, who's currently in first place. So there might be that angle too. But I just think Colorado State at home is going to get San Diego State.
Hunter in the chat saying these storms are out of control. Act like you've been there.
You must be an old guy.
They've been happening. They've been happening.
Are they great white sharks? They've always been there. We just didn't have the cameras.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
I would actually argue it's the opposite. The cameras are what is creating them.
Yes, I would argue that as well.
So imagine if
you actually believe that there's more storms this year than 20 years ago.
Yes, because of the camera.
I disagree.
I think the camera has caused the storm. I think in the Sharks case, the camera is now capturing the storm.
There is more parity this year than other years, which again, traditional court stormers like myself, court storm constitutionalists who hold themselves to some standards.
I wait till marriage to storm.
Yeah, Ryan didn't storm his entire college career. He's waiting.
Well, I did, but that metaphorically.
There have been more upsets, which would lead to a slightly higher court storming rate, as court storming traditionalists believe it. But
can I throw another wrench? I think also the relative rehabilitation of some law enforcement. Maybe it's a little harder to, kick the shit out of some kids running on the court because they all have fucking cameras. I can say that when my experience has been made fun of and mocked, but when I rushed Lane Stadium after that Miami game, I can tell you that some cops definitely clotheslined some kids.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of stuff, if today you capture that, all of a sudden this old, adult is abusing this young person, and we have a problem. So
we saw it with Ole Miss this year when Ole Miss upset LSU. Remember that body check by that security guard?
Colby, can we get a bump on that? Remember that great footage of the girl falling into the bushes at the hedges at Georgia? I think it was
Auburn.
Time.
I think that was Auburn. Yeah.
And again, rush at your own risk, but that's an all timer. Can we start getting some court storm bloopers?
Yeah, we need to install hedges in all courts. Because then if you can clear the hedge, you've earned it.
Yeah, just have moats. Come on. I mean, have you seen international soccer? They put up some serious obstacles, and those motherfuckers still find their way in. All right, Miami heads to Raleigh, North Carolina to take on the Pussy Pack, as Colby's
going to be all over NC State here. I can
on the
tell.
West Coast. Late start here, so maybe we could have a lit atmosphere. Oh man. I don't know what to do. NC State's never a team that I look at and I'm like, I want to bet on them tonight. So I'm assuming I'm going to be on the other side, even though I hate Miami as well. Colby, what's the smart angle?
I mean, NC State's just a counterfeit institution. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Miami
haven't even been good at home lately.
Didn't see this coming.
Yeah, Miami has won 2 straight. Jimmy Larinagas figured things out. They've gotten a little healthier also. They go in and take care of the Pussy Pack at the Pussy Center. Yeah. Look, I mean, NC State, their crowd can get lit sometimes, but I mean, they're pretenders at all points. You know what I mean? So I think Miami takes advantage of them being a weak-minded institution. So give me the Hurricane.
You don't think Miami's looking ahead to that matchup on Saturday against my Hokies? No look ahead spot here. All right. You know, I've never heard a Miami grad get upset because they were selling F the U t-shirts. This Texas thing really,
it's very soft.
They're stooping beneath some of the worst programs in the land.
I'll take Miami. NC State hasn't looked. I mean, they've lost 3 in a row, but they haven't even looked great at home either. I think this is a decent fade spot of them, especially Miami team heating up a little bit.
Yeah, the heater of NC State doesn't get that dub against Louisville where they played like absolute trash, and we're talking about a team that's lost 5 out of 6. With their only win coming at home against Wake, which I guess you can say is a decent win. They lost to UVA. I mean, this is a UVA team that's broken. Come on. I'm taking Miami, unfortunately. But F the U. Definitely F the U. U down. I don't know this is what you do with it, but I don't really get it. It's kind of like horns down. All right. Last one. The bootleg shirt guys always had good F the U designs. Loyola Marymount heads to Spokane, Washington to take on the maybe the furthest northwest private school institution in the land, little east maybe. Gonzaga laying 16 here. Why are we talking about Loyola Marymount and Gonzaga, Colby? It's a late tip off. Some people on the East Coast might even be asleep at 8 p.m. on the West Coast, and Gonzaga is laying a big number.
Diversity, you know what I mean? Wanted to get a West Coast game in there, and obviously they have the best player in all of college basketball, Kelly LePepe, aka Prison Strength. And look, let's load up. There's money to be made right here. Loyola's going to cover this game. Gonzaga's not the same team as they were, the past 5-10 years. They just beat Pacific, who's horrible, by 9. The game before that, they eked it out at home at the Kennel against San Francisco. And meanwhile, like I get it, Loyola's 10-11. They hit the portal heavy this past year. They got some talent, but they just haven't meshed well together. I just think that, like, from a talent perspective, this is a way closer game. So I'm all over LMU and the points here. I think it's just a smash spot. You just saw LMU go to St. Mary's, only lost by 5.
Yeah, I guess that would be the best case. Although they did lose by 16 at San Francisco. I'm trying to think some of their other interesting road spots. They haven't been on the road a ton, honestly. But I'm with Colby. I'll take Leu Pepe and the 16 points.
Are we sure about this?
Mark had a few. To Colby's point, like they just not the dominant regular season team that they've previously been.
Yeah, I mean he's spending too much time at the lake, clearly.
And to me,
Gonzaga
like,
lost at Santa Clara.
That's Loyola's decent. Like they beat UNLV. Justin Wright was a good addition to them. They brought in some guys. They still have Lea Pepe, obviously. They got Thiemann from Cal as a transfer, and like they have guys. Like it just they haven't meshed well together. But I do think as the season prolongs, they'll be getting better and better. I think they easily cover this. I think it's going to be a much closer game.
Is it? Do we know? I mean, this is a very wealthy school. Are they staying up in the up? Are they staying up north? Are they, or do you think they returned home? Because if this is a bro trip, I kind of like your angle. Kelly LePepe coming off a game where he put up 15 points, pretty nice.
That's what he does.
The flip side is that producer, we did get a note from producer Josh that he said Kelly LePepe sucks.
Oh, wow.
He verified it with his own eyes. Absolutely unacceptable language from producer Josh.
Colby, is that true?
No,
give me
no,
Kelly.
no.
Give me Kelly LePepe.
No.
Oh, he was doing a live rendition. That was fabulous. It was like
Kramer, you're taking LMU?
You know what? Yeah.
Gonzaga is favored, just so you know.
Yeah, give me LMU.
Currently, we'll see.
I do like LePepe. I think he's such a strange looking person.
How has he not been cast in something? I forget if we were talking about this
in
on
Hollywood.
the show.
I mean, what is this?
Or watching the game, but like, how do you not make him like a extra in like a biker gang or the guy you're getting?
I see him with a battle axe in like the next Conan the Barbarian or some shit.
There's I mean, Game of Thrones 2, whatever it is. Like, I mean, even I mean, could you imagine if like some futuristic like Star Trek where they land on a planet where it's just guys with long hair who are great at offensive rebounding? I mean, that's a perfect role for
people are more into realistic stuff. Maybe the zombies hit in Los Angeles and Kelly LePepe.
You don't think that guy's gonna box you out for some brains?
He somehow wields this massive Viking axe. So we're combining a couple ideas here.
Whatever him swinging a deadly weapon, I could watch.
All right, day. So we're getting there. So maybe it's Bill Murray. Maybe it's the sequel to that Zombieland where you got.
Oh yeah.
You got Woody and Bill Murray lurking around Los Angeles. The zombies come back, and Kelly LePepe is the nerd character. That would make the movie better. All right,
triple tap.
Yes. Oh no, he's just cutting heads off with axes though.
Time for our lock dog and bonus lock brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Start betting smarter, not harder. HOFBets.com. Promo code SGPN. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app. If you're putting together some parlays. Some same game parlays for the Super Bowl. You got to be firing up the HOF Bets app. Dig deep with the data. HOF Bets has you covered. Use that promo code SGPN. Bet smarter, not harder with Hall of Fame Bets. Kramer, what do you got?
Well, it seems as though I'm cooled off a little bit. So I had to put some extra focus.
Just a reminder, currently our consensus plays are 87, 4 and 2. My lock 69%.
Our consensus plays have gone through the first ever 4-show losing streak.
Yes, not been great as of late, but still overall pretty good. We're due for a nice bounce back. Consensus plays.
All right,
what do you got?
Well, I think one of the consensus plays that will be getting onto the lock sheet is give me Utah State laying the big number. As Colby said, they keep a good program. Danny Sprinkle, elite name for two reasons. One, your last name Sprinkle. Two, you choose as an adult to go by Danny. Like both of those elements. Number two, give me Kansas State at home. Big 12 at home. Give me for the dog. I'm gonna go small dog. So I'm getting a win here. But give me Miami and the Pussy Pack. No match for the Pussy Hounds from Miami.
All right. For me,
quack.
Villanova. Yeah, Villanova in a bounce back spot. They need this. They're desperate. Lock that up for me. Colorado State at home as a pick, like that as well. You know what? Never mind. I'm going Bonnie's -3.5 and Villanova for my locks. Little audible there for my dogs. Oklahoma State's kind of interesting. Georgia Tech, interesting for some big dog action. You guys will probably call me a homer, but give me Syracuse on the money line. Fuck Boston College. Come on, Colby.
Locking up the Bonnies. I think they're going to put it on VCU there. Second lock will be Loyola Marymount +16 at the Kennel, and the money line play. Look, I want to give my clients some value. Give me them Yellow Jackets to upset the Tar Heels before
Killer
the big
bees.
game. Let's go.
So do we do a money line round robin? Miami, Syracuse, Georgia Tech. I'm in. Anyone else?
I'm not in for Georgia Tech. That's a bad pick.
Colby.
Yeah, I like it, but I was gonna propose. What did we all agree on? What about instead of Miami, Oklahoma State
On the money line?
Oh no, money line. I didn't hear that. Okay. Ohio State. Ohio State.
No, Kramer's on Illinois.
That's fine. You guys can do your own thing. That's been working out great for you.
It has Ohio State, Miami, Syracuse. Colby.
No. I was saying we take Miami off. We do Syracuse.
Okay.
Ohio State. And what else did you take in Nova?
Oh, okay. I like that. Syracuse, Ohio State, Villanova, money line parlay. Kramer.
Am I allowed to have a parlay?
Yep. So that's why I said
no. No.
Kramer, Colby, do you think Kramer's going to hit his parlay?
No.
Oh, come on. Don't need that negativity in the show.
All right. This is a pretty simple one. We're just going to put 3 teams together.
Okay.
This is all about coaches we love. First, we go Kansas State laying the 2. Then we go Miami plus the 3. Then we wrap it up with a little Tom Izzo 700 win and cover. Will we see a court storm for an 11-point favorite?
Yeah, of course. People want to get their TikTok views up.
Well, then you want to have it in the parlay. I won't. I got to be honest though. Like, can we see someone just smack the shit out of someone's phone out of their hand? Let's have a little bit of drama. I mean, if you're a security guard and you work at one of these stadiums, you don't have to assault someone, but smack the shit out of their phone. Tell them to live. Be like be
in the moment. Be like
that.
Punch you in the face.
No, like that greenskeeper at South Bend, Indiana, for Rudy. Told him he was he basically told him he's like, you're nothing, and you've been hanging out with people who are going to be something. Stop bitching. Take the phone out of your hand. Live life.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Hey, thank you everyone for tuning in. Toss us a nice rating review on Apple Podcasts. Got some gift cards to give away as always. Promo code playoffs. Only a few days left. Get you that merch. Rocking the sweet Let It Ride, a boat captain-y hat. Colby's got the nice college experience hat. Kramer, we'll be back later on the week talking a little. What do we got on the slate? We got some bonus NASCAR.
We got Tuesday. We got NASCAR. Wednesday we got Pro Bowl stuff. Maybe we'll see. That might have to get moved to Friday if they
depends on when these people listen. If we're trying to gamble on the Pro Bowl, give us our freedom.
And then Thursday Colby's back for more college basketball. Talking another 6 Saturday slate.
Let's go.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
And then Sunday night Super Bowl props.
Kramer. Let it ride.